income. And sometimes I go live there just to keep content over there. And that's the title of the book that I have coming out within, by the end of the month, I think it's going to be out. So cool. So guys, this is Danny Stock. I'm sure you've seen him. He's a good friend of mine. We actually just met like this is 2019. So was it 3 years ago?
3, I think. Yeah.
Was that the one we went to that expo in Orlando? Was that January of 2016?
I think so. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So we were a part of a group of guys that were buying some stuff. We went to a trade show in Orlando. I met him there for the first time. And my goodness, just it's so cool what God has done in our relationship. And so, guys, I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's been really cool. And he's been a really good friend. It's been an honor to partner up with him on many things, and to be able to see the success we've had, together is really neat. It's just totally a God thing, and I'm just thrilled to know him and thrilled to work with him. And so tonight he's going to be talking about momentum and how to shake your Q4 momentum and roll it right into 2019. So I'll let you share your screen and go for it.
Okay. How's it going, everyone? Get started here. So happy New Year, everyone. I know it's a little late. It's January 10th already.
That's what I was saying too. I was just saying before you got on, like, when do you stop saying Happy New Year? Like, I don't know.
I get Happy New Year in March, it seems like sometimes.
Right.
So any time could be a new start or a new year for you.
Exactly.
Calendar New Year, it doesn't mean it has to be a new start. You can start over anytime. So that's a great thing. Get the reset button. So guys, we're going to talk a little bit about things. Q1 could be a little bit of a drag sometimes. I don't think it's a drag. I think it's great. And my sales have always been good in Q1. So I hope yours are going to pan out that way. Maybe not, but we're going to talk about a few things that go around in my brain, rattle around there. And that's what I think about as far as, and these rules apply to arbitrage, and we'll be mostly talking about that, but same rules apply for wholesale as well. So carry momentum to 2019. You really got to have some sort of goal of some sort. Can't just go into 2019 not really having some sort of idea of where you're going to end up at the end of the year. Otherwise, you may just kind of flail around, or you'll get maybe your sales increase, but you have no idea if that you could have did more if you would have set the bar a little higher. So sometimes we get to December and we just kind of like, just going to pull the plug, and which is good to do. Don't get me wrong, spend time with family, but then we find out our sales end up kind of stinking in January. So we kind of motivation gets deflated, and then if you have some sort of New Year's resolution, my guess is many of you probably haven't even started it. Well, you have to start at some time. There's no better time than now. So a lot of people say, yep, I'm going to go work out by this January 10th. And they keep saying tomorrow, I'm going to do that. So Q1, slow sales ahead. At least that's what most people think. That's not true at all. Q1 is actually very good sales, and always has been for me historically. January has always been probably my second best month in a couple of years.
Wow.
January is very good. And that's because I didn't sit on my hands in December. I'm not saying anyone sat on their hands in December, but most people look at that inventory cutoff in December and say, okay, I'm done for the year. And, but if you don't plan ahead for the next month, your sales are just going to go down, 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 down. And you're going to be left with a bunch of inventory no one wants, and not even you want. You can't get rid of it. And your sales are going to reflect that. And so is your profit. So you have to think ahead month to month and plan accordingly. So I'm not sure why people treat December any differently. They look at some like a psychological, like Christmas. I can't sell anything after Christmas, or I have to stop sending stuff in. You should be sending stuff in all the time. It doesn't matter. Just pretend it's not there as far as inventory planning goes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what has always led to really good sales. In January, I was prepared, and I gobbled up a lot of those gift card sales, or people that wanted to buy what they're just going to end up buying what they wanted for themselves. So most people kind of feel like this when in January comes around, they look at their seller app and they go, oh my gosh, I haven't sold a single thing. So you definitely want to avoid that in months to come. People get depressed. A lot of people quit their business, quit Amazon in January, February. So you need to get ahead of that because otherwise you could be depressed.
Mm-hmm.
You certainly don't want to feel like this. Your sales and profitability tanking. And so we need to, there's some simple things you can keep that from happening. And it's not too revolutionary at all, but let's talk a little bit about that. Top tips. So people, just replenish your inventory, send in some new products, test new products. It is New Year. You can try new things. And don't get so focused and wrapped up in, and this is probably my biggest tip, where a lot of people get really hung up on, okay, what's the next thing? They think about Christmas. So what's the next holiday or thing? They think it's health and fitness. They think it's Valentine's Day. They think it's St. Patrick's Day, whatever it is. Those holidays are so minuscule as far as their time, as far as selling that product on Amazon. I typically will just ignore those small holidays from a sales standpoint, because a lot of people get just frozen. They think, well, I got to find products that people are thinking about fitness. So they confine themselves to these little areas of products, like only Valentine's stuff, only fitness, health stuff, only this and that. But I don't even think about that stuff. I just send in the same inventory all the time, over and over again, all year round. And my sales are really good because of that. If I happen to find a really good deal on a Valentine's Day item or a candy or something, sure, I'll pick it up, but I'm not going to isolate myself to just that. Mm-hmm. Same thing with back to school. People get all bent out of shape about that and try to think, well, I got to create a bunch of bundles and everything, which is good as your business matures. But if you're trying to grow your business, you're going to be spinning your wheels and not getting much done. Mm-hmm. Just get out there. There's so much low hanging fruit. Just go pick it up. It's everywhere. It's all around you, and you just got to go get it. So try new places. A lot of you, if you're buying a lot of product at certain retailers, which I warn people about all the time, places like you got to be very careful, and you have to be skilled and really know your Keepa and do all that. But places like Kmart and Target, places like that, not Kmart, I'm sorry, Walmart, Target. A lot of people shop there, so you're going to get a lot of people seeing the same types of products, and they're going to see the same sales, the same clearance, and they're going to send the same products. And when there's a glut of inventory, generally prices will go down unless it's just a really popular item. But more times than not, prices tend to go down. So you need to think about some new places to try, and I would highly suggest and we'll show you later in the webinar here. So based on local retailers, regional, other big retailers that maybe you shop at, but you never thought about for arbitrage so don't forget the training we've talked about, and you've seen me talk about, training, doing reverse sourcing, checking Keepa. If you can look at my silent team, there's a lot of training in there, and over the shoulder sourcing I've done. And I rarely find myself in a situation where I have a product and it happens, but where it just continues to tank in price. Mm-hmm. And of course, I'm not immune to it, but most of my products stay very steady because I'm buying products that are unique, or not every store has it. And you can tell everything you need to know about a product. It is on Keepa. You can tell a lot of things like, are the number of sellers on the listing increasing? Are prices starting to trend downward? It's probably your sign to not buy that product. Just leave it on the shelf. Especially if you start seeing that same product over and over again. You go from one Target or one Walmart to the next, and you see it over and over again, and they have a lot of it, even though it looks good when you scan it at that time. Until you can figure out teleportation technology, you're going to You're going to have to ship your product, and so is everyone else. So by the time it gets there, it's going to tank in price.
So, guys, when we talk about Keepa, you may already have heard of it, but it's just a tool that shows you a history of the item. So, most of the time when we've taught, when I was taught how to do retail arbitrage, you just look at the rank, which Amazon has that on every item. It's basically just how often an item sells, and it's called BSR, or bestseller rank. But it's just a snapshot in time. So let's say, for example, I'm going out and I find this glass water bottle, and it looks like it's 25,000 rank. Well, if I don't look at Keepa, I wouldn't know that just over the last month, this has been hovering around 250,000 rank, which may be above your threshold. But it just sold yesterday, and therefore it looks like it sells a lot at the $25,000 rank. So the way the rank works is, if this item doesn't sell, it increases in rank and gets higher and higher and higher, meaning worse. When it sells, it has a drop, okay, and goes from maybe 250,000 down to 25 or 10 or whatever, but it has a steep drop when it sells. And so you scan it at that point, you're thinking, oh, this is a great product, but Keepa would tell you, oh man, no, that's not a good deal because it literally just sold yesterday. That's why the rank looks good. And you could see a history and know, well, that's only sold 3 times in the last month. So you may not want to clear the shelf of that one. So it's just a great way to give you a better view of what's going on.
Exactly. And I actually have a Keepa graph in a couple of slides here. So we'll kind of talk about a particular product, just give you an example. Also, another thing I find people doing in Q1 is chasing sales. And the reason they do that, because their sales have been so abysmal, because there wasn't any inventory planning in December, or even November or January. So they got to make enough money to, especially if you put purchases on credit cards, you're going to have to try to bring in enough revenues to pay off the credit card balances. And so people kind of panic, and I think a lot of what comes from that is people lowering the prices on stuff, chasing sales, or setting up the repricer in a very bad way. But it's a combination of those things where people are just panic, and they got to get those sales coming in, or they just want to get their money back so they can pay those balances off on their credit card. So, which as time goes on, I would highly suggest you don't rely on credit cards for your inventory purchases. It does take the pressure off of you. There's far better ways to do that, which we'll talk a little bit about later. Let's see here. So what are some specific things you can do? Obviously, this picture, Christmas clearance is long and gone, but I put this here for a reason. This is actually the inside of a Walgreens. And you notice I put something, what the natural state of a retail store question. What is the natural state of a retail store, especially small retail? Places like Walgreens, CVS, and these are just big national retailers. I mention these because everyone knows who they are. So they have a smaller footprint than most brick and mortars, and they get a lot of Christmas stuff, and they bring in a lot of toys, and they take up a lot of valuable real estate in their shelvings, which is already limited. So they're trying to capitalize on the Q4 rush, people in there getting that, walking to the back strategically. Of course, they put the pharmacy in the back. They walk past all this stuff and you go, oh, I need some Christmas lights, or I need to get a quick gift for a Secret Santa thing that we have. And so they're picking up a lot of sales. Obviously, this Walgreens didn't look like they sold too well. They still have a lot of stock here. But they quickly will get rid of it because they're going to take back all that real estate, put back their normal yearly items that they sell, and they'll reduce the amount of space this Christmas stuff has taken up. So, and they'll get rid of it quickly because they're going to transition to, they're not a big retailer that has a big stock room, lots of space to put this stuff. So they're going to liquidate it quickly. And so this happens every holiday. It's so usually something like this, I would look at, items like the candy, stuff that maybe is not too specific to the holiday. Christmas is a different story. I buy the Christmas stuff, send it in right away, and it sells. Every other holiday, the sales drop off like a rock afterwards. People don't really think about Valentine's Day after it's over. Christmas, they do think about that. They put their Christmas decorations away, realize something's broken, or they want to get a gift, or some people have Christmas get-togethers after Christmas. There's just a whole host of reasons why people buy Christmas stuff long after Christmas is over. So look at this as an opportunity to capitalize and get those toys, for instance, that are slashed way down in price because they're trying to get back to their natural state. So here's a quick Keepa graph because we had a lot of questions about it in the past, so I just put it up here real quick. This is an example of a seasonal Christmas item. You notice that, let me get my little pointer here. The price, it tends to go upwards, and the January's cut off back here, but it did the same thing. I know because I sell this item every single year. So you notice in January, the prices already spiked up. This snapshot was taken tonight. So as the inventory dwindles, the prices are going up. There's not slash your prices time on. You don't go to Amazon and get 50% off Christmas stuff. It's not brick and mortar retail. Amazon they don't participate in that type of stuff. Generally, they don't get a lot of seasonal merchandise. They rely on third-party sellers like us to populate and fill their catalog with those types of items. So there's a very limited supply of these. This is right off the shelf at a retailer, and the prices always spike back up there, and it still sells. It still has a rank around 15,000, 10,000, and it sells very well. So every year I do the same thing over. Everyone else sells out, and the number of sellers goes down, and I send it in, and the price goes up, and I make a good profit because I can get on discount and send it in and get a higher price. So January ends up being really good for me. And that's just, this one product is just a reason, one of many products why that is so true. So look, I put this WWDS, where would Danny shop? I found this little, and I'm sorry it's green, I couldn't find a high resolution. So these are just maybe retailers you've never heard of. Some of them you go, oh, I know what that is, but other people on the other side of the country may not know.
Wow, you've added to this list.
And yes. And so all of these, not all of them, obviously these two, Walmart and Target are not, but a lot of these are regional stores. So I don't recognize 90% of these. I live in a very rural area, so none of these are around me. Shopko. I've heard of Costco, obviously. I have Walgreens, Target, Walmart, Sam's Club. But all these others, I've heard of some of them, but they're not around me. And I really wish they were, because you can find a lot of deals here that most people are not going to find because they're limited to only that store. Their inventory is generally unique compared to the national retailers. They carry different products. Yeah, there's a lot of crossover, but those products are Pepsi, Coke, things, big brands, Procter and Gamble type stuff you're going to find anywhere. I'm talking about, the limited shelf space. So they all pick different types of toys and seasonal items to put on their shelves, candy, food wise. But you can really capitalize on these stores. And I really challenge you to start thinking about stores like this to shop at in this year, and stop going to the mainstream retailers. It's okay to go in there from time to time, but don't make it your bread and butter necessarily, because unless you're very good and you're very careful and you know what products are not at every Walmart or every Target is unique and they have very few of them, you got to be very careful. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt a lot and you're going to get depressed because your sales and profits are just not going to be there. So guys, this brings up the next topic here. A lot of you may experienced, I don't know what you experienced in Q4. Maybe you experienced a sense of hope. I don't know. Maybe you felt hope. This could work. Maybe Amazon could be that tool to get me to that next level, whatever it is that you want to do with your life. Most of you may may have a day job, and I'm not sure, but a lot of you do have day jobs, and And when you're a kid, you may not picture yourself working where you are now. So when we're kids, we dream big, we dream about being astronauts, things like that. And then we lose that as that kind of gets beaten out of us through high school and college. And everyone's telling you to be sensible. You're told to get a degree, get a job, get a 401k, and get term life insurance. I mean, that's just really boring. Okay, I'm sorry, that like makes me go to sleep, and it sounds like my worst nightmare. All those things too, and I didn't do any of those. So,
but Danny, it's safe, right?
It's safe. But is it really safe?
Yeah, it may not be safe at all. And you hear about people losing their jobs.
I would challenge you to say that it is not safe.
I agree. I agree with you.
Your whole future relies on that retailer, not that retailer, that company you work for. You give them everything. You give them all your time. And in return, they decide everything for you. They decide how much vacation you're going to take, how much you're going to get paid, how much you're going to see your family, when and where you're going to go, and what hours you're going to work. And you give look, we're not in the Asian cultures. They live and breathe for their employer. They stay there. That is their family, which is completely backwards. And that's why their family unit is kind of broken. And I kind of see that happening. Whereas I would think most of you would rather have freedom to pick up and go and leave when you want to, run your business from anywhere in the world, go take a vacation when you want. I could go get on a plane tomorrow and go to Hawaii if I wanted to. I have the freedom to do that. My kids are, here with me. They're homeschooled. So maybe if you have kids in school, you can't do that, but that's okay. The point is you can stay at home, eat breakfast with your kids, you eat dinner with your children. You can go see your parents, your loved ones. Maybe your children have moved out. You can go on that vacation, take that RV road trip or whatever it is you want to do. But I would challenge you to think critically about your current state and ask, do I feel alive? Do I feel like I'm thriving where I am? Do I feel fulfilled every time I go home every night? Or do I feel it's just a grind and I dread Monday mornings? That's your big sign that you're not really where you're supposed to be. Because if Ryan and I and being Christians, and do you think God really wants you to live that life where it's just a grind all the time? And He wants you to be a champion. He wants you to be out there, and there's so much potential that you can rise to, and you don't even know what that is as long as you're stuck where you are. So we talk about Amazon as a tool. I think it is the modern day tool to get you to that next level. Get you out of your current situation, get you into being a business owner. And there's a big difference between being self-employed and being a business owner. Self-employed, anyone can buy themselves a job, but that's just another job, a ball and chain attached to. You need to transition to being a business owner because that's where all the wealth and the freedom are. And only about 5% of the populace lives in that scenario. So. And that's where you need to transition to. And it doesn't take long to do that. And so we're going to talk about, this picture may conjure up your thoughts of being on the beach. Maybe this is your dream job. You got a pillow and a blanket and a book, drinking your coffee. And in the background, sales. It doesn't matter if it's Amazon or not. It doesn't need to be Amazon long term. But the point is you have financial stability. Everything is happening and working for you, regardless of whether you're putting in your direct input all the time.
That's right. Hey, real quick question, Danny. You don't need to go back there to it, but got a question. Why are there so many pharmacies on that? Where would Danny shop?
I don't know. Pharmacies are very regionalized, so there's a lot of pharmacies are great places for arbitrage, by the way.
Yeah, they are, especially like the end caps for clearance. Yep,
they're great. So please check it out. But you find yourself in this position all the time where you have a choice of taking the road on the left. It looks a little more treacherous, a little harder. The road on the right, that looks a little more smooth sailing, but don't let that deceive you. The road on the right is actually 25 years of your life going by and going, holy cow, what just happened? Where the road on the left may be 2-3 years long. And at the end of it, you find find your dream. You find that beach. It takes you to the beach. The road on the right looks easy and goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It never ends, and there's no end to it. And next thing you know, you're retired and your 401k goes to the trash because the stock market crashed the year before you retired. There's just so many things that look good on the surface, but they end up not being so. So I would challenge you, you all know about Amazon. That's why you're on this webinar. Use it as a tool to get you to that dream that you want to live. Maybe you already do Amazon full time. Well, can you really consider yourself a business owner and not self-employed? Are you out there day after day, going out there, getting inventory and doing that stuff? It's fine. Some people love doing that, especially if you can bring your children along or your family's coming with you. Mm-hmm. That's a very good lifestyle to have because you spend quality time with your family. But maybe you want to transition to more time off, but you need to get those sales to keep coming in. So Ryan and I have the Legends Group, and we are confident now that it's been this third year of Legends Group that we have seen this happen time and time again. So we can say that this is kind of the gateway, one of those doors that is open, and you can choose whether to walk through it. Maybe the door isn't open for you yet, but it is there, and you know that eventually you're going to walk through all those doors, one after another, and it's amazing where it leads to. So we hope you take a shortcut to freedom, because it took me way too long. Personally, I'm only 35, but I spent time in the military, spent time in Iraq, spent time broke, near bankruptcy, as you know. A lot of medical issues, like medical debt, I should say, medical issues with our children, our daughters, both being premature, a lot of medical debt. And it's not fun skimming the treetops your whole life. You don't want to do that. And you feel like everything's a ball and chain, your house, your mortgage, your bills, your job, your life in general. And you only get those little tiny snippets every day with your family. In fact, I saw some just crazy fact, and it so breaks my heart. But on average, a working family, the parents only spend about 15 to 20 minutes a day with their children. And 30 minutes, and less than 15 minutes with their spouse.
Wow.
That is just breaks my heart. And you give everything to your employer. And not saying that I've been an employer for many years. I'm just saying maybe it's a good way to start off, but you do have to realize that they do control pretty much everything about your life. So take a shortcut to freedom. I hope you make that choice. And by talking about the Legends Group, it really is that shortcut. We give you everything you need. And all the support group, you're in a group with people that are on the same trajectory, all have a similar goal in mind. Mm-hmm. And that goal is to be free, have time freedom, money freedom. Both of those are great, and allows you to reach your full potential in life. Maybe you start a nonprofit, whatever it is you want to do, it can be done, but it has to be done through being a business owner. So guys, just in the Legends Group, we were talking about surrounding yourself with people with like-mindedness, and that's family. Other people are on your side, patting you on the back. If you have a bad day, everyone has a bad day, even in this business, and they help you get you back on your feet, dust you off. And while this is an intangible benefit of being in the Legends Group, it really is the best benefit, because once you get to know the people, I mean, it's like the glue in the community that keeps it together. Everyone loves each other, tries to help each other out. No negative comments or getting down on each other. It just doesn't happen. You can scour the Facebook group, the WhatsApp, you'll never see it happen. So guys, we help you get started. We have WhatsApp groups. We share you deals, things you could use as rabbit trails to get find other items, build up replenishable items that you can go and buy quickly over and over again, send them in, and build up a nice solid base of sales for your business, because that is very important to your Amazon business. So you don't have this yo-yo or seesaw effect of your sales going up, down, up, down, up, down. That is bad for cash flows. You need a nice steady income stream coming in all the time. It really takes off a lot of the stress about paying your bills, and that way you can budget better, and you can do that with replenishables. And if you find clearance or one-off items, or you can coupon for a deal, great. That's just the gravy. So, and we put deals in these groups, and they're great starting points to find other deals and replenishable items.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, we have webinars all the time. We have 5 scheduled already in the group, ready to coming up here. Whether it's about, we don't talk just about arbitrage, taxes, that's coming up. How to, another thing, the tax ball and chain. Well, how do you get out of paying taxes legally? Well, we can show you how to do that. And I'm talking about getting all of your money back that you paid to the IRS. Not just some of it. And this is all above board legal stuff. So it could be done. If you see big companies out there not paying taxes, there are ways to not do that. So, and it's all above board legal, and it's there for you to use. So, and I pay taxes every year. The point is, what do I do with that money I set aside for taxes? Right. That's how I get my money back.
Yeah, we're not talking about actually not paying your taxes.
No, I pay my taxes every year, and I will never get audited because I have a good bookkeeper and accountant. So guys, good content. It's about arbitrage, about taxes, finances, bookkeeping. We have wholesale, working manufacturers, you name it. It's there. Guys, for those of you, some of you don't want to do arbitrage, maybe you want to start looking for products in China. So we do have a Chinese sourcing agent. She is a Legends member, Grace. She lives in Singapore. She will find you manufacturers, not just in China, places like Malaysia, other countries that don't have tariffs. There's a lot of products that have tariffs in China, and a lot of countries that don't. So a lot of people source just in China, but there are a lot of actually countries that are far better and cheaper than even sourcing in China. So we have 2 conferences a year. We just announced our next one. It's April 26th, 27th, and here in my hometown. It's going to be at a minor league ballpark. It's going to be great. We're going to watch a baseball game during our little break in the afternoon, and it's going to be great content. We're also going to bring in retailers, local retailers that are around me that want to work with online sellers. It looks like it's going to happen, so we're working hard to make that happen, and help them get their products on the internet, because so many mom and pops or small manufacturers or retailers don't have online presence. So it's a great time to network and just have a good time and refresh and recharge your batteries. You guys, I have a prep center, and it is one of 2 Jim Cockrum approved prep centers. Pro Prep and Fulfillment is ours. And we have all-inclusive pricing. So one of the problems with most prep centers, you don't know your true cost per item. What's it going to be? Because how much bubble wrap we're going to use, how many boxes, how many poly bags, all that stuff. We do all-inclusive pricing. It's based on volume. So plus you get 10% off those stated prices on the website. We have full automation. So you just put in your SKUs and how many you ordered in the software, and we do the rest. We print the labels. We do the shipping contents. We create the shipments and do box contents, all that. It's completely hands off. It's a great way to outsource what is, for many of you, is probably a bottleneck of your business, and that's the shipping and prepping. So guys, a lot of you have heard of Amazon Canada. No idea how to get products up there. You've tried, you went through the shipment process, and you stopped when it asked you to get your own shipping. You go, oh my goodness, it cost me $200 to ship this box to the Amazon Fulfillment Center because I have to use my own UPS account. So we have a sister warehouse in Toronto, and they've removed all the barriers. You literally pack all your stuff in a box. It can be all arbitrage if you want it to be. They'll send you a label. It goes to the border, and they go get it. You don't have to worry about border crossings, brokerage fees, customs, all that stuff. It's all done for you. Just fill out a little sheet, and they take care of the rest. And next thing you know, your products are in Amazon Canada, where the volume is lower, but the profits are generally higher. Same thing with Australia. Australia just opened. Amazon.com was the #1 retailer, #2 retailer in Australia, which is crazy to think that people are ordering from US-based .com shipping all the way to Australia. And now they have Amazon Australia right there in their own backyard with Prime shipping. So you tell me, I think that's going to work out pretty well for Australia. So live sourcing, new sourcing strategies coming soon. We already have one. Recorded content, 3 to 4 days. If you want a general theme comes up is you need to outsource. If you're going to build a robust business with lots of layers of diversity in it, you will have to outsource certain tasks and to other people in your business, whether it's people here locally. And in this instance, we're talking about people that are overseas. And so if that's ever intimidated you, well, there's no excuses anymore, because we have an A to Z done for you VA. We give you everything from where to go find them, the resume, how to test them. We even give you a website where your VA will log in and they'll watch and train themselves on how to source. They can also you can train your VA to do anything. But we train them how to do arbitrage, online arbitrage, so that we give you an Excel sheet with very, very strict parameters that it has to meet before they can put those finds on a list. And you wake up in the morning, you have an Excel sheet, you can go order a bunch of stuff, have it sent to a prep center like ours, or you can send it to your house and ship it in. So that'll help kind of smooth things out for you and save you some time. So everything A to Z for hiring a VA. Also within that same program, we have Quick Start to Amazon Profit. So it tells you and shows you how to be profitable very quickly in this Amazon business and what it takes to do that. You know, what kind of products you need to source, or what, you know, the profitability margins, how to know if you're making a profit. That's very important to know. You want to make sure you're on the right track and your sales are increasing as well as your profit. A lot of people, I can post big, giant sales numbers, but the only thing that matters is what was your bottom line? Did you make anything? You'll see a lot of ads on Facebook. I did $10 million in sales, but they're drop shippers and they make like a fraction of 1% of a net profit, if that. And so you have to be careful, because what really matters is the bottom line. Guys, if you haven't heard, we've created our own software for Legends members. It is available outside of the group. Legendary Seller, for example, is $100 a month outside of Legends, but it's free within Legends. It includes refund reimbursement. So there are a lot of refund reimbursement services out there, and they all charge a fee or a commission. We don't do that for Legends members. Also, as of now, we don't charge it for people outside of Legends either, but there is a subscription tied to it. So we do have keyword tools, very similar to what you find anywhere else. 8 different keyword tools, profit loss statements, so you can put in your cost of goods and it'll spit out profit loss statements that look just like something you would find in Inventory Lab, for example. We help you create listings, meaning that you can take all the keywords you find through the keyword tools, you can filter them down to just the best keywords, and as you type them in the listing, it'll eliminate them. And make sure you don't duplicate any of your keywords, because for indexing, that's not a good thing. It could kick your whole listing out. So feedback generator. So something like that, you want to generate feedbacks for your store or product. We do have a automation built in for that, very similar to other tools you use out there. Which is very important to generate some sort of feedback on a regular basis. That does go into part of the buy box algorithm for Amazon. That is just one of many 8 to 10 different things that determine how often you get the buy box, or if you do. Lots of other tools in Legendary Seller, and that's over this next year is really going to blow up into something even bigger. So Legendary Analysis, again, we've taken a lot of the Chrome extensions, condensed them down to one tool. Something that kind of looks like a sales estimation, like a Jungle Scout type tool, but it includes a way more different things within it. And you can click which ones you want to show, whether you want to see, on-page analyzer, maybe some keywords. You can import ASINs. You can find niches. Click a button, the potential niche finder for you, and lots of other built-in features with that as well. It's a Chrome plugin or Chrome extension, so works very similar to other ones out there. There is, for people that do arbitrage, we have a killer app. I mean, I put everything I had into this. I'm very proud of the way this turned out. I put my whole brain into this app, everything that I knew you needed to source quickly and efficiently, everything at your fingertips to make a smart buying decision. And whether it's Keepa, a little Keepa button, or you want to make buy lists for Inventory Lab to speed up your processing time. If you want to see your estimated sales for the product, so you can click that and it'll be like a Jungle Scout built into your app. It also does reverse sourcing for you. There's 2 buttons, this one and another one below it. You can click and find other listings that you could potentially sell on that most people are not going to find, because most people just scan UPCs. If they don't find a match, they throw it back on the shelf. So that's not what you need to do. You need to go beyond that. So it has about 25 different features built into it. Show you if products are restricted, hazmat, whatever. You can also check for sales on eBay, how well it sells on eBay. I was actually doing a webinar in Legends earlier, and I happened to scan something or type something in, and then I showed them that feature, checking on eBay. We actually found it half as much on eBay.
Oh, that's cool.
It was $100 profit. And so whoever bought it right then and there scored a pretty good find there. But that happens pretty often when you're checking the prices. There's a lot of price discrepancies between the two. So that could be some potential good arbitrage there for you without even trying. So we have something called Legends Bundles. So we make exclusive bundles. Most people probably know what a bundle is. So we make exclusive bundles for Legends members that have a unique item that you can't get anywhere else. And we just have an ongoing list that we keep adding to. So you just click on all the links to source the products, and we'll give you an ASIN. You can just sell on it. So it's something we do at no extra cost, of course. Other sourcing tools, one of these, like the stock predictor, is mostly for Q4. So that time came and went, obviously. Amazon sold out tool, so it helps you find products that are currently unavailable. And we have some new apps we're always working on, one being a Profit Booster app, which is in the works and very close to being launched. More Chrome extensions, basically. So, guys, if you've heard of the Q4 groups, well, if you stay in Legends, you will get that free next year, which is pretty awesome. And we're always looking for new people to help out and people that want to step up and teach other people. So I think after you stay in Legends for that amount of time, you could have an opportunity to be in a position where you maybe are able to teach someone else, make an impact, pass along this information, this knowledge, and show them something better for their life. Whether it's just the whole premises of having freedom, time and money freedom, or it's just teaching them that Amazon is a tool and here's how you get started down that path. We have care groups, so we do love each other. We're a family, so we'll get on Zoom meetings together once in a while, usually at least once a month. And if you just need help, or you just want to complain about Amazon, or you just want to you need someone to give you a pat on the back or give you some advice on some selling, we have a Zoom meeting so we can all see each other, talk, just kind of take turns sharing with each other. And that's a huge benefit. A lot of people have walked away with a lot of great ideas and a lot of people have felt down about themselves and walked away being positive and confident that they can make this work, and they did. So other services that are discounted next year, we do have our own bookkeepers, financial advisors, which you'll hear from in January in Legends, killer webinar that's going to happen. Guys, depending on how much you pay in taxes, that would easily just alone could be worth it. But so that's obviously the bookkeeper is a discounted service, so it does cost extra. The financial advisor, only if you do something with them does it cost you anything. At your fingertips, WhatsApp, Facebook, there are people that sell 7, even 8 figures in Legends. So people at your disposal to ask questions, and you will get an answer from very seasoned professionals. And I think that is very valuable. I couldn't put a price on that, but if you were to get some of these people as coaches individually, I'm sure it would cost you thousands, a couple $1,000s maybe, to get some coaching sessions. These people are willing and able and want to help people that are just starting off, or maybe you're kind of the middle of your game, and maybe some of you are already in a position like this. You will learn something from that. I can guarantee that. So that's a great opportunity. So how much is Legends? Well, it's less than $50 a week. And I think for all of that, even if you were paying for any of that software outside of Legends, a lot of it you could probably not use anymore, or maybe you don't need it anymore. You could get it within Legends, so you can go ahead and deduct the savings that you could get on software or apps that you're using, Chrome extensions, whatnot. Mm-hmm. That will really reduce the price and the impact of a couple $100 a month. So I implore you to choose freedom, whether you join Legends or not. Think critically about your position and pray about it. Whatever it is, do something in your life before it's too late that's fulfilling to you. And feel alive. You got to ask yourself, if it was 10 years ago, the last time you felt alive about your job or what you're doing, you might need to revisit your current situation and think of a way to get out. And I really think this day and age, Amazon is one of probably several tools that you can use to get yourself out of a position that you're in and get to that financial time freedom that you desire. So I'd highly suggest that you join us at AMZ Legends. I feel very, very confident that if you put your mind to it, focus, even if it's just a small amount of time every day, because I recognize we all have lives, we have jobs, and we have families, obligations, things we need to take care of. And just focus a little bit of your time and attention to our group. You will make a huge impact on not only your life, but potentially many others around you. When I went on this journey, I had no idea that a little choice I made, and it wasn't an easy one, to do this full time would lead to, I was just doing it for myself initially and trying to get my family out of some debt. I thought, well, I'll just pay this debt off and be done with it.
Right.
Look what's happened.
Oh my goodness.
Ryan's probably made that same choice when he walked away from the furniture business and decided, this is it. This is enough. I'm done with this.
Right.
I'm going to go. And look what's happened. We've talked to thousands of people. Jim Cockrum, all these leaders have made the same decision to move on and make a tough decision about walking away from something that seemingly at the time was good. But looking back, you're like, oh my gosh, I should have quit a long time ago or way before when I did. So, and they've made an impact. Jim has made an impact on hundreds of thousands of people. And imagine if he didn't take that choice, made that choice. Right. Imagine if we didn't make that choice, Legends wouldn't be here. A lot of people would still be working at their day jobs. So it takes a lot of faith in knowing that it is going to work, and that things will be provided for you. So
that's right.
So guys, I just implore you to at least try it out. If you don't like it, no big deal. We're not going to keep your money. You try it out for a couple weeks, you don't like it, that's fine. Just go to the website, sign up. It's really no risk, but I think it's a very, 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 very small price to pay to find out. Maybe this is a stepping stone into something greater for yourself.
Absolutely. Yep. Danny nailed it. $50 a week, $197 a month is the monthly option. And like you said, guys, there's a money back guarantee. If you decide to try it out and it's not for you, we're going to give you your money back. Not a big deal. There's also an option to do to buy 10 months and get 2 months free. So it's $1,970 for that one. And there's also an option to pay $23.47 and get the 2 conferences for free. Those are usually around $400 per person. So you can also bring a spouse to that as well. So those are options on the page. Love to have you join our family. Really excited about it. We've seen so many success stories and want to see you be another one. So cool. Good job, Danny. Karen wants to know, did you say that the buy list interacts with Inventory Lab on the sourcing app?
When you create a new shipment, there's an option to import a buy list. or Excel file, and that's exactly what it's made for.
Okay, so yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, that's what it was made for.
I was able to answer all the other ones. I just wasn't.
Okay,
I know you've heard you talk about that before, but I mean, wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
Pamela's asking in YouTube about the Bolo list. Will it get saturated? So Pamela, we have there's about 700 people in the Facebook group, but a lot of those are business partners and VAs. But also we have the deals broken up into, there's like H fines now. So we got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H groups, and we keep those to around 90 or so. And a lot of those are all actually moderators in there even. So not really too concerned about saturation, but also the thing is use those deals as jumping boards or springboards to other ideas. Use it like, oh my gosh, I didn't know about that store. Let's go check out that store now. Or I didn't think about that product. Let's look at that product now.
I've had a lot of people tell me, well, I didn't necessarily buy a couple of those items that someone posted, but I found out about a new website that I didn't know about for online arbitrage. And so people use that. If you see a lot of deals posted from one website, you probably should go check it out and see what the sale is going on. And you can use that as a springboard into new finds and replenishable items is my hope, really.
Yep. And also, guys, the deals that are posted, those aren't even remotely close to the reason you should sign up to be in Legends. Yeah. I mean, it's a cool perk, and it's honestly how we started. When we were doing, Danny and I were doing a webinar in December of 2016, and it was about how to do our retail arbitrage the easy way, talking about his reverse sourcing method. And so we had the idea on the webinar. He talked about how he had a whole bunch of favorites. So in the Amazon Seller app, you can favorite items. And you can do the same thing in Legendary Sourcing. You can put storage. You can even do more with Legendary Sourcing. But that was before Legendary Sourcing existed. He was talking about favoriting items so that he had like a buy list. And we thought, I wonder, I asked him how many he had, and it was a bunch. I thought, would you be willing to share those? Because you have so many. He said, yes. And so I said, how many would be interested in being in a group where Danny shares his finds and we get together and we share deals? Like everybody wanted to do that. So that's how Legends was born. And now it's so much more than just sharing deals. I mean, honestly, to Danny and I, that's the least exciting part of the Legends group. The most exciting being the family. And guys, I understand that's intangible. You kind of have to be in it to understand how cool that is and what a blessing it is to be a part of it. But then there's so many other perks. Like there's people who are making their monthly subscription just from the refunds they're getting back from Amazon. Any one perk could be worth the whole investment. And so when he went through this huge long list of perks just a little bit ago, guys, it's a buffet. So don't think you have to take advantage of all of them. It's literally just you pick and choose what are applicable to you. You may never need a China sourcing agent, but if you do, we have one and she's trusted and somebody that we can go to. You may never want to sell in Canada, but why not try? Because we've totally broken down the barriers to that and made it so not scary. But then just don't get overwhelmed because there is bringing, and we're even bringing in more. We're probably gonna have to raise the price soon because we just keep increasing. His Legendary Seller software is $97 a month outside the group. Inside the group, it's free. So when we start adding other tools, the tools outside the group will end up costing more than $197. So that's when we'll have to raise the price probably. But yeah. Cool. I don't have any other questions, guys. You guys always answered them. I tried to answer them while he was talking. So Danny, thanks so much for presenting that. And guys, again, no matter whether you do this or not, decide to jump in, we're here to help. You can private message me anytime. I love helping people get started and take their business to another level. I just truly believe the Legends Group is the place to be to take it to another level on a massive scale. But if it's not in the cards for you, or you get in and try it out and it's not for you, I'm still your friend. I want to help you out. I'm here to serve you guys. I truly care and want to help. So, Danny, anything else?
I don't think so. Hope to see you in there and look forward to getting to know you.
Cool. Well, guys, put the link there, amzlegends.com. Love to have you join the family. So have a great night, everybody. Thanks.
Good night.
All right, bye.